haven't filmed in like a year. This feels so strange. Hello, I'm Kelly, also known as Sir Rainbow Sky Child, also known as the girl who keeps creating YouTube channels and then abandoning them, and also known as the girl who's back for the millionth time. In case you don't know, this is actually my booktube channel, or at least it will be. It was meant to be, I just didn't work on it. But what better way to properly kick things off here than to ride the coattails of my far more popular friends with the Readathon that I'm helping them host. Subscribe to my channel. This video, of course, will explain everything that you need to know about Sci-Fi September, the Readathon in question. But before I get into that, I just want to say that if you are curious as to where I've been and why I disappeared, I have explained all of it on my main channel, and also, obviously, everything that I mention in this video I will link either in the cards or the description or both. And now, because I am officially back on BookTube, I can't resist jumping in by saying, let's get started! So firstly, what is Sci-Fi September? Sci-Fi September is a month-long science fiction-themed readathon created by Saajid over at Books Are My Social Life. The objective is pretty self-explanatory: read and celebrate science fiction, a genre that I consider to be one of the best, second only to fantasy. Here's how it's going to work. We're going to read science fiction throughout September. That's it. That's the whole readathon. But if you are looking for more of a challenge, we have set up some prompts that you can follow any which way you please. You can choose to disregard these challenges if you want to, or you can double up on them, or, if you're insane, you can attempt to read 16 books to knock out every single one with an individual story. But I wouldn't recommend doing that, because why would you? In no particular order. Challenge number 1 is actually one that I thought of. It's to read an unpopular science fiction book or one that you've never heard of before. Challenge number 2 is to read a classic. Number 3 is to read a book that is recommended to you. Number 4 is to read a popular or hyped science fiction book. Number 5 is to read a sci-fi short story. Challenges number 6 through 8 are to read science fiction books that feature an alien presence, a robot or artificial intelligence presence, and a non-human main character. Challenges 9 through 11 are to read science fiction stories that feature elements of time travel, contemporary, and fantasy. Number 12 is to read a book with a queer main character, although I just want to add a note here that Saajid explained that it doesn't have to resonate with the queer identity, it just has to feature a main character who falls under that. Challenge number 14 is to read a book that has water as the central theme, and there's a note here as well. I don't have a book like that, so I'm gonna cheat and read a desert-themed science fiction. I'm just saying you can do that too if you want to. You're not supposed to, but I'll look past it. Challenge number 14 is to read a science fiction book that focuses on the global south. So this is a bit of a confusing one. The best way that I can explain it is to think of something like an African space opera. I must emphasize here that the point is not to read diverse science fiction, but rather science fiction that focuses on anything but the first world. Number 15 is to read a steampunk sci-fi, and number 16, of course, is to read a science fiction book that doesn't focus on outer space at all, in any way or any shape or any form. Then, to make things a little bit more fun, Saajid has set up a sort of bingo board that you can use to keep track of how many challenges you have completed, and to make a little game out of it to see if you can get bingo, or as he calls it, bing, because there's only 4 in a row. You can find that on the Twitter. Speaking of which, let's get to the personnel and how you can be involved in this readathon. The hosts are Saajid, like I said, of course. And then we've also got Kathy wow. Her surname is so difficult to say. Kathy Trithart. Kathy Trithart, Jessie from Bowties and Books, and most importantly, me. In the build-up to September and this readathon, we will be posting more content related to science fiction and the readathon itself, so be sure to subscribe to all of our channels so that you don't miss out on anything. Also, it will be much appreciated. Saajid, Kathy, and Jessie are also planning some live shows throughout the readathon, but unfortunately, I shan't be participating in those because I come from a country that has load shedding, and trying to schedule something around their unpredictable schedule is just too much work and I'm lazy. So, yeah, look out for those, but unfortunately, you'll have to miss out on this beautiful face. I'm sorry. And then finally, if you want to stay up to date with what's happening with Sci-Fi September, if you want to join the conversation, share your videos and your reads with us, you can be involved by following the Sci-Fi September Twitter account at Sci-Fi September, or you can join our Discord server, which I personally am managing, so I'll see you there. So I think that's all for now. Let me know if you'll be participating in the comments, and don't forget to check out the other announcement videos from my fellow hosts. Again, I've linked everything down below and in the cards. By the way, I forgot to say this. It is fairly obvious, but just in case, this readathon is happening from the 1st to the 30th of September. So as long as you read at least one sci-fi book in that time, you will have succeeded at this readathon. Now, that's really all from me. I will be back with another Sci-Fi September related video soon. Until then, live long and prosper, my friends.